Welcome. In this session, we will talk about one of the most important topics for your CUET PG in psychology, and that is conditioning, classical conditioning versus operant conditioning. Now, consider this as one of the most fundamentally asked and most important sections. Even if you look onto the past paper analysis, you would see highest number of questions are being asked from the sections on learning and behavioral psychology. So, these two topics become extremely important for your CUET PG psychology examination. Now, again, when we are talking about learning for NTA, there are questions that would significantly confuse you. For example, distinguishing between a negative reinforcement and a punishment becomes a very important question, and we'll see towards the end of this class with some questions that how you can easily identify the difference between the two. So let's begin with the very first one, and that's the Pavlov's model. Now it's important that Pavlov's model on dog and the Skinner's model on rat should not be missed out by any case. Each and every fundamental understanding of these two topics become very important. So let's first talk about the terminology. So the unconditioned stimuli, right? It is basically the food that would trigger the unconditioned stimuli, and the unconditioned response is of course the food itself. So that is what is unconditioned. You don't need any conditioning, that's natural. When a dog would see a food particle, the dog would salivate. So this is an unconditioned stimuli and an unconditioned response that is generated. A neutral stimuli is when a dog sees a bell which is not ringing, so it's basically no response, and then this is a normal situation where there is nothing being done. Now, this is an event before conditioning. What happens during conditioning? During conditioning, this food is paired with bell which is ringing. Now note that this bell is not ringing and this bell is ringing. So this ringing bell would create a stimulus for the dog, because now the dog is considering a fact that when the bell is ringing, food is being given. So that means there is an association that is being developed between food and bell. Now, once the dog is trained with such a phenomena that every time the bell rings, the food is given, every time the bell rings, the food is given, what happens is you take away the food, still the dog would salivate because the dog is expecting that I would receive the food. So this becomes a conditioned response because the dog has been conditioned for the same, and the stimuli of the dog salivating becomes an unconditioned stimuli. So it was initially an unconditioned stimuli which is now a conditioned stimuli. Now, one of the very important things under Pavlov's experiment that you must remember is the involuntary reflex. So what the dog is doing here after conditioning is an involuntary reflex. The dog is not willingly trying to salivate. The dog is automatically salivating, and that is an involuntary response, which is the key term you must remember. As we'll come on to the operant conditioning, you will understand why I'm saying this is very important. Now, coming on to the operant conditioning, this is where there is a stimulus response, the response stimuli consequence. For example, the rat press the lever and gets the food pellet. Now, pressing the lever is a voluntary act, very important to understand. It is not involuntary. Rat is not doing it all of the sudden automatically. The rat wants the food, and therefore the rat is pressing the lever in order to get the food particle. Now, the food when received is a reinforcement for rat. One very important thing that you must understand under operant conditioning is the term adding and which is associated to positive. I'll explain in a while what I'm trying to say. And taking away is what is associated to negative. Now, reinforcement and punishment, right? Understand this very carefully. Positive and negative. So we are talking about reinforcement, which would be positive, punishment, which would be positive, reinforcement, which would be negative, and punishment, which would be negative. So in both these cases we would add something, and in both the cases of positive will add something, and in both the cases of negative will subtract something, right? So positive reinforcement, very very simple. Let's say if you are willing to increase the chance of something, right? So a student does good in the examination, you give a student a trophy, so that's an automatic motivation to do well for the next examination. Simple. So that is positive reinforcement, done. Okay, now positive punishment, the child does some nonsense, so you scold the child in order to prohibit that happening again. So again, very very simple, it's positive punishment. Why positive punishment? You are adding something. What are you adding? You are adding scolding there, right? So you are scolding the child, and that is something being added. You are not taking away something. Understand this very very carefully, because negative reinforcement and punishment are the two things which students often get confused with. So be very clear here. Now, negative reinforcement is where you are taking away something to increase the behavior. You want to ultimately increase that behavior, but in order to increase that behavior, you take away something. For example, there is a severe headache, right? Now, the person is dependent on a medicine to reduce that headache, but you take away that medicine and you let the person get rid of that headache independently. So that is a negative reinforcement, right? So this is a classic example where you are taking away something. You are just increasing the chance of the same positive behavior. The person wants to get rid of the headache, and that's the objective. To achieve that objective, to increase that behavior, that this headache should not occur, a person is highly dependent on medicines, and you try to reduce that or remove that or give a placebo. In either case, you are taking away the actual medicine, and this is what is a negative reinforcement. Coming on to negative punishment, understand this very very carefully, don't confuse here. Negative punishment is when you are taking away something to decrease the behavior. It is punishment, remember? So reinforcement is always increasing the behavior, punishment is always decreasing the behavior. So you take away something in order to reduce that behavior. For example, a child is highly addicted to mobile phone, right? So you take away the mobile phone in order that child is not dependent on the mobile phone. So your ultimate objective is to reduce the dependence on mobile phone, but for that you are not adding something, you are not scolding, you are not actually spanking, but what you are trying to do, you are trying to take away the phone and reduce the chances of child getting addicted to phone. So that is what is negative punishment. This is a very very important concept. Negative would take away something, positive would add something, reinforcement increases the behavior, punishment decreases the behavior. If you remember these four things, you would be automatically able to fill this grid out. Now, a quick comparison between the classical conditioning, operant conditioning. So classical conditioning given by Pavlov, and this was an involuntary behavior of salivating. It is also called as a reflex or automatic behavior, and it is based on stimuli association, right? So the stimuli here is the bell, okay, and then it would generate a response. Also, the stimulus would be always before the response, and this action would be passive. However, under operant conditioning, it is a response stimuli consequence. The consequence follows the response, okay. Now, this is 100% voluntary. The rat wants the food, and therefore the rat is pressing the palate. In this case, this behavior is 100% involuntary. The key thing that you must remember. And then, as I already said, what is negative reinforcement and negative punishment? Don't confuse it, right? So here is the last question for you. A child cleans the room to stop the parents from nagging them. Which operant conditioning behavior is this? Now again, the four things that we have discussed. So understand this carefully. The child cleans the room because he wants the parents to stop nagging. So the behavior is what? The behavior is an increase in the behavior, the cleaning habit, right? But what is there at the same time? There is taking away of something, right? And taking away is where the person is trying to reduce that negative aspect, right? So it is what? It is a negative reinforcement. Ultimately, the behavior is getting increased, right? And therefore, this is what is called as a negative reinforcement. So this quadrant, I would say, which creates the most common confusion: reinforcement, punishment, positive and negative. The difference between these and how you would understand: the reinforcement would always increase the behavior, the punishment would reduce the behavior, and positive would add up something, negative would take away something. So those are the key things that you must remember. Of course, to practice more for your CUET PG, don't miss the complete material which is available on Exam PYQ. Now this would follow up with the lectures, notes, MCQs and revision material that would be beneficial for your examination. So start preparing, and thanks for joining in. Have a great day. Thank you.